Yeah. Um, Time for our weekly Baker check-in. So just going over to look at Baker Mayfield and the Browns this week. Um, this week the Browns faced off against the winless Lions. And the Browns were looking to bounce back from their 45-7 loss last week against the that came against the Patriots. And they did win this game, but it was not in convincing fashion at all. The Browns were at home facing a team that I remind you again is winless this season, and the Browns only escaped by 3 points. They won this game 13-10. Baker says his injuries says he's playing with a lot of injuries rather, and that is part of the reason for his poor performance lately. But Cleveland fans weren't really having it. They were booing the offense during Sunday's game. So, Jen, I'm coming to you here. Do you buy that injuries are the cause for Baker's poor play on Sunday?
I think that's just his excuse to play poorly for the rest of the season. Um, he's just looking back at his entire career in the Browns. It just seems like he's maybe above average, but definitely below average play for most of his games. And it just seems like he's making up all the excuses and everything like that to prove that he's a good player. But I think the Browns are having a tougher decision this offseason, um, whether to figure out to keep Baker or find another way. I mean, we all know that the Browns have, essentially a terrible, terrible, um, history of number one draft picks. With what Miles Garrett being like the only one that got an extension in the past 15 years. So, it just seems like Baker's time in Cleveland is going down, and he might have to find a job somewhere else as a backup next season.
Brandon.
Baker stinks, man. I don't know. I don't know how many times that we have to beat this drum. I like doing it, so I don't mind. Uh, but Baker really stinks. Like this game, I think his brain went on overload, so he couldn't talk to the media. He run out of excuses. He couldn't blame OBJ for this one, obviously, uh, or maybe he could have tried. Uh, they've sort of used him as a scapegoat for a lot of shit in this Browns offense, but OBJ's gone, so it's not his fault. Now it's injuries. Baker also spoke out against the fans, so he blamed the fan noise. Said if his fans would just quiet down while he was on offense, then he'd be able to focus. So it's just one excuse after another, after another, after another. I don't know how many times that this guy has to fuck up and blame somebody else. And I don't know why people believe it. Like, why? How has he gotten away with this for this long? Like, he just every time he loses, it's something, some other reason. Like, it's someone else's fault. Something else was the problem. Everybody has injuries at this point in the year, to some extent. Like, everybody's got nicks, everybody's got bruises, bumps, blah blah blah. Everybody's got teammates that are on injury. I mean, you've got some more serious than others, obviously. Um, but Baker just stinks, man. If you graded him or if you went in perceiving him as an average quarterback, he's doing all right. But if you go in as he's an elite quarterback, he fucking stinks. So I don't know. This game was just another stamp on his resume of why he is a below average quarterback. Um, and on top of that, Detroit lost it for themselves, man. They had a couple chances to come back, and obviously they had Tim Boyle in at QB. Yeah, All Star Tim Boyle, who I think had a higher, it was like a 1-2 TD to interception ratio in college. Like, just, he stinks too. And that team just doesn't look prepared. I know I highlight the one drive where right before they went into the second half, they ran like 3 to 5 yard passes the whole way up the field in a 2 minute drill. I don't know what they were trying to do, none of which headed towards out of bounds. So they're just like, it's like they don't understand what they need to do in that moment. Like longer passes get out of bounds, get in field goal range, don't go in with 0 points. And they took that and did all of the opposite. Like 3 yard passes inbound, run the clock down for some reason, and then fuck that up. And that's pretty much a testament to the Giant or the Lions season. The Lions just lost this game. Baker did not win this game. He didn't do anything. He, in fact, put his team in a position to lose to the Detroit Lions. It's just the Lions aren't a pro team at this point, so they can't win, at least right now.
Yeah, Baker fans will still help make excuses for him. Number one fan of course is Skip Bayless, so he's still yelling from the mountaintops about how good Baker Mayfield is.